What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and we've got another very exciting unboxing. Here we have the Microsoft Surface Book 2 15-inch version. This is something that I've been wanting to check out for a long time. Ever since the first Surface Book was announced, the event, I still remember it when they were talking about the Surface Book as a regular laptop, and then boom, it detaches and my jaw just completely dropped. It was insane. I didn't actually get a chance to check out the Surface Book 1. It came out quite late in the UK, but we have the Surface Book 2, so let's go ahead and take a closer look. So the box initially, we've got Microsoft Surface Book here at the top, and then we've got a picture of the Surface Book with its magic feature of being able to detach from its base. And on the back, we've got a bunch of info. You can pause this and have a closer look if you'd like. All right, let's get it out of this plastic. There we go. Wow. And we can pull it out just using this little tab. Wow, okay. Very excited to check that out, but we'll leave it at the side for just a second. Let's see what else we get. So some paperwork, which I'm probably not going to read. And in here, we probably have the power adapter, that's right. And this actually connects on to the Surface Book magnetically, so if you want to pull it or something, it's not going to just drag your laptop down. It is just going to come off itself, which is really cool. Nothing else in the box? Right, let's get this out of the plastic. Ooh. Wow. So first things first, this thing feels very cold because it is magnesium and it's super cold here in the UK right now, but it's got a nice soft touch to it, which I really do like. We've got the Windows logo here at the front, and let's see, can we open it with one hand? Just about. That hinge is just some amazing engineering. Wow, I'm still not over the magnesium build. It looks and feels really premium, but it's got a really nice feel to it as well. And the keys here feel really nice. I've heard a lot of people talk about the keys and how they're some of the best out there, and I really do like them. They feel really good and have got a decent amount of travel too. Right, let's go ahead and power this up. So we've got the power button here at the top on the display unit. So we've got Windows 10 Pro in here, so we're gonna have a very familiar setup process. I'll go through this and come back in a second.
A few moments later.
We're all set up, really quick and easy to do. If you've set anything up on Windows before, you'll be very familiar to the process. You also have Cortana that goes through everything with you. And for the Surface Book 2, you also have Windows Hello set up. So that uses the front-facing camera to recognize your face, and then you'll be able to unlock the device with just your face, which is pretty awesome. Now, before we go ahead and detach this display, looking at the specifications, there are lots of different versions available. I have gone for the top spec, which has an 8th gen Intel Core i7-8650U processor, the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 discrete GPU with 6GB of GDDR5 graphics memory, 16GB of LPDDR3 RAM, and a 1TB PCIe SSD. So those are some pretty powerful internals for what is a pretty portable device overall. And if you're somebody like me who does a lot of video editing and graphics design, then this is going to be ideal for that. But if you're somebody who likes to do mobile gaming, now keyword there is mobile gaming. I know there's some laptops with the GTX 1080, but those are really quite bulky. This is quite compact, and although you might not be able to play all games at the top settings, this is still going to be very, very capable. Right, now let's talk about this display. It's a 15-inch PixelSense display, which has a resolution of 3240 by 2160. That's around 260 ppi, so a very, very sharp display. And it's got a 3:2 aspect ratio, which is definitely more productive if you're going to be using the display on its own. And you can do that quite easily by pressing this button here. You'll get a message there, and then you can go ahead and pop this off, and look at that. That is absolutely awesome. This is so light. I can't believe how light this is, especially considering that it's a 15-inch display. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be saying, oh, we've got some bezels on here. Other devices have smaller bezels, but you have to consider that if you're using this as a tablet, then you're going to be needing some bezel on here to hold on to, because if you didn't have any bezels, then you'd be touching the display itself. So if you look here, even when you're taking the display out, you need something to kind of hold on to. And if you are to use this with the pen doesn't doesn't come included in here. You do have to buy that separately, so something to bear in mind. Then once again, you can hold onto the sides here while you're writing on this, and that's why I'm not too bothered about those bezels. I do have a pen here. This is actually a pen from the Eve V. This is something I saw my buddy Dave 2D doing, and you can actually use this on here as well, which is pretty cool. And if you want to pop this back, then you simply slot it back into place. It's going to give you a message. You want to go back into Windows mode? Yep. And boom, you're back in. Now we've actually got two batteries in here. One is inside the display and one is inside the base. It is going to use the battery in the base first, and then it's going to go over into the display. Now I'm obviously going to have to test this out. They're saying up to 17 hours of video playback, which is pretty insane. But if you look at other videos, I'll try to link a few in the description below. Some of my friends have done some tests. They are getting some insane battery life on this. Now taking a look around in terms of the ports, on the left hand side, you have two full-size USB 3 type A ports. There's also a full-size SD card slot. This is something that I absolutely love. I hate having to carry around dongles. I want to take out my SD card from my camera and put it straight into my device. On the right hand side, you have a USB type C port. This does not support Thunderbolt 3, unfortunately. And then there is the Surface Connect. This is basically the magnetical connector that I was talking about earlier. So we can just test this out here, and there you go. It's just going to go in like that. And if you are to kind of pull the cable by mistake, then it is the cable that's going to go, not your laptop. Now the 3.5mm headphone jack is actually here right at the top. So if you're using this in laptop mode, I've heard it can be a little bit awkward and the wire's going to be kind of dangling down. However, if you do take the display off and you put it on backwards, like so, what you can actually do is you can use this firstly as a tablet itself. So if you're going to be using this especially with a pen or something, this is going to be super cool. But you can also use it as a bit of a kickstand if you are watching a movie or something. And when you are doing that, then the 3.5mm headphone jack goes at the bottom, which is much better. So kind of a compromise there. There's an 8MP rear-facing camera and there's a 5MP front-facing camera which supports 1080p video recording, and it's actually really good compared to pretty much every other laptop camera that I've tried out there. And finally, we also have some front-facing stereo speakers with Dolby Audio Premium, and those do sound really good. So there we have it, guys. That is the Microsoft Surface Book 2, a very promising device. And if you're interested to find out more or pick one of these up yourself, then I'll be leaving a link in the description below. What do you guys think of the Surface Book 2? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know. My first impressions are very, very good. It looks like a very promising device that should be really, really good for my personal workflow. If there's anything else that you'd like me to cover with the Microsoft Surface Book 2 in a future video that hasn't already been covered, then definitely also let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. There's lots more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching, and thank you to Microsoft for sending this over. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time. Man, it feels so good, honestly, this magnesium.